Link state advertisements makes OSPF a very effective link state routing protocol based on which the link state database gets built, using which the SPF algorithm can find the shortest path for each remote destination and recommend the routes to the routing table. End of the day, it is the routing table the one which is going to decide whether to keep OSPF route or other source like EIGRP. The administrative distance matters. Now let us not get into those areas. Focus only on OSPF. We got LSA types. Advertisements. If you have a large network, every now and then there is going to be some change which will trigger advertisements. Every now and then, if there is a change in network, that change will trigger advertisements, which is a notification for every other router about the change. Now, larger the network, more the notifications, more the advertisements, which needs to be controlled. For that reason, we have areas. When you don't have areas, this is the problem. The routers will suffer with these three problems. One, I'm always running SPF algorithm. I'm always running SPF algorithm, which means too many updates are coming very often. As a result, the SPF need to find the new paths every time when it gets LSA. Secondly, I'm receiving too many LSAs because there is no summarization is possible when you have one big network, when you have one big area. When you don't have multiple areas, summarization is not possible. Only when we have multiple areas in the border, we do summarization. We call it as ABR router. But when you don't have borders, summarization is not possible. Then every precise subnet change notification information has to be sent to everyone all the time, which is going to consume a lot of bandwidth as well as a lot of CPU on the receiving router. Not only that, because the summarization is not possible, the detailed routes are maintained on every router. As a result, the routing table is going to be bigger. More bigger the routing table, more time it will take for decision making. Layer 3 forwarding decision making will take a lot of time. To avoid all these issues, we need areas instead of single area, and we need to do summarization in the borders. If not summarization, you need to do stub. That is another solution. We'll talk about stub later. We'll talk about summarization later. What we are going to talk now is about the different type of advertisements the link state OSPF routing protocol will send. You see, when you have multiple areas, as I said earlier, you can do summarization on the ABR that minimizes the routing update traffic. So instead of keeping one big autonomous system like this, we make multiple sub-autonomous system kind of setup called areas. And each area will have a identical database, because within an area we don't do summarization. Only when we send update to another area, summarization is done. So what I'm trying to say in short is, it minimizes the flooding of LSAs all over the autonomous system. Because we do summarization on the borders, the flooding of update, the detailed updates are only localized within an area. The other areas don't unnecessarily disturb, not often disturbed, because we do summarization between the borders. For that, we need this hierarchical routing approach. Next. Types of OSPF routers. This is a general knowledge topic. We all learned this in CCNA, the beginner course. The routers that are having interfaces within that same area are called as internal routers. The routers that have got one in a backbone, another in other area called as ABR. And the router that has got connection to other autonomous system is called as ASBR. Now this ASBR can be in an area 0, can also be in some other area. Recommended is to keep it in area 0. If you need, you can keep another one in area 2 or area 1. So ASBR is the router which is responsible for reaching external networks. What is external network? Those networks that are not of the local company's network. Those networks that are of internet. Those networks that are of other autonomous system or external route. External routes come inside OSPF through redistribution. The place where you do redistribution between the external routing protocol and local OSPF and vice versa is called as ASBR, Autonomous System Border Router. Now, why are we learning these general knowledge topics? Why are we going through this topic? Is to understand. It is to understand that we have different type of routers, so you need different type of advertisement. That's why. So we understood the different types of routers. Let us try to understand different LSA types. You see, there is one advertisement called router LSA, which is always coming from every router. No router is exempted from this type of LSA called type 1 LSA. That is why it is called as router LSA. It is must, it is mandate, it is important for a OSPF router to send this type of advertisement. Router LSA. What do they advertise? They advertise the link status of the connected network along with the router ID. Now there is another type 2 LSA, which is network LSA. This LSA originates only from the designated router. If you don't have a designated router, then there is no network LSA type 2. I repeat. Don't later scratch our head. We should not scratch our head when we don't see type 2 LSA. When you don't have DR, for example, you have a serial wire. In serial wire, which is a point to point, there won't be DR, BDR, so there won't be type 2 LSA. Because type 2 LSA originates only from designated router. Type 2 LSA originates only from designated router. Type 2 LSA is called as network LSA. Type 1 LSA is called as router LSA. Type 2 LSA is called as network LSA. Now, these two LSAs is, yes, sir. Now, we have not learned this topic fully. So, if I start the lab, maybe I'll be able to show you this two LSA and then time will get over. So, we have to learn completely. Then we'll go to the lab. As you were expecting, yes, we will definitely see in the lab. The command is show IP OSPF database. అంతే ఏమీ లేదు ఇది ఒకటి చాలు show IP OSPF database. Show IP OSPF database. Now, these two LSAs, they are local to the area. I repeat. This is the very important thing we should know about these two LSA. We already know one difference. What is that? Network LSA will not come from other router except DR, which we learned. That is one important difference. Now, the next difference that you are going to learn here, the next difference that you are learning here is both these LSA have got something unique. What it is, they never go to other area. These advertisements will never pass through ABR. This never pass through ABR. Area border router will not allow this LSA to go to other area. Yes, it will not allow LSA to go to other area. Type 1 LSA, type 2 LSA, ABR will not allow to pass through. Before I go to type 3 LSA, I want to ask you a question. What this type 1 and type 2 LSA carry? No, don't tell stories. No, Emily. It's not that. These two LSAs carry the networks, the link status on each link on every router that are within this area. You understood? They advertise the network, the link status, information of those routers that are within this area. So, without this type 1 and type 2, the other routers in this area will not know about the networks of the other router. Now, all this area, for example, area 1, all these area 1 networks are distributed using type 1 and type 2, but they are within the area. This type 1 and type 2 area, local to the area. Okay. Now, if it is local to the area, then how will area 0 know about these networks? You see, type 1 and type 2 are the one which is distributing the route information. If that type 1 and type 2 is not allowed to go out of the area, how will area 0 know about area 1's network? If area 0 don't know, then no other area can know it. isn't it? Area 0 is the transit area. If area 0 don't know, then no other area can know it. No other area can know it. So, for area 0 to know it, the ABR, what it will do, it will take the type 1 and type 2, which it is learning from area 1 side, and it will pass it out as type 3. Look at this. Same advertisement, type 1 and type 2, is converted as type 3 so that it can be sent to the other area. Who can do this conversion? Only ABR can do it. Only ABR can. Only ABR router can take this type 1 and type 2 of area 1, which is entering on one side of the router, and send it to area 0 as type 3. You see, the advertisements of this network in the routers come here as type 1, LSA type 2, isn't it? Can this type 1 and type 2 go out? No, not allowed. But these two is converted as type 3, and type 3 originates from where? Originates from where? Mm, from ABR. But what is this actually carrying? It is actually carrying the messages, the informations that were distributed as type 1 and type 2 locally. Locally, it is seen as type 1 and type 2, but when it is sent out, ABR will convert it as type 3 and send it out. Only through type 3, area 0 will come to know about area 0 will come to know about area 1 networks. You got it? That's a manchi question. Now, if type 1 and type 2 get converted, if type 1 and type 2 get converted into type 3, then why do we need areas? Why is this unnecessary conversion? These are all you are thinking. I appreciate, sir. When you do summarization here, only type 3 will be summarized and sent, so you're not going to disturb 1 and 2. Inside it will be detailed, but when it goes outside it will be summarized. Andake inta type kavala. That's the reason why we need these many types. When I do summarization, it should not impact the inside, it should only impact when it is sent out. If I do summarization and if it will summarize the 1 and 2, then there will be problem inside also. But when you summarize, only type 3 is getting summarized. The other areas are going to get the summary, whereas the area 1 still have got the detailed because it is type 1 and type 2. When I say answer, you should say, yes, I understood. Oh, right. Oh, is it like that? Okay. And something like that. You are very quiet. So I keep repeating the answer, thinking that you did not understand. Mm. Mm. Okay. Now, did you understand that answer that I gave you? Why? you have your question was amazing, wonderful, excellent, superb question. Answer is when you do summarization, you will see the effect of having these multiple areas because the ABR is going to send only the summarized type 3 LSA, whereas type 1 and type 2, which is detailed, they don't get impacted when you do summarization. Next. So I just said this both LSA types never leave the local area. So it is only the ABR takes the type 1 and type 2, change it as type 3, and send it to area 0. Now, what is type 4? Before that, I want to remind you the names. Type 2 is network LSA. It comes from designated router. Type 1 is router LSA because it comes from every single router. Type 3 is summary LSA because we are going to do summarization on ABR, and it is the same ABR from where this also originates, which we just saw. Now, type 4 LSA also originates from the same ABR. So the name is almost the same name. Summary LSA. Actually, it is autonomous system summary LSA, which they have not mentioned here. Router 3 is, sorry, type 3 is simply a summary LSA. Type 4 is autonomous system summary LSA, which they have not mentioned here. But anyhow, both can be called a summary LSA because both originates from answer. Both originates from. Now, what does type 3 carries? Answer. See, when I am quiet, you keep repeating the answer, no? That is what happened for me also. Now, no problem. But the answer is still not received from you. What does type 3 carry? Type 3 carries the network of one area to the other area. Type 3 carries the network information of area 1 to area 3. Sorry, area 1 to area 0. You should say that one. Huh? It carries the net. 100% correct. Will have their will have their own LSA1 and LSA2. Their own LSA1 and LSA. Yeah. Every area will have their own network LSA and router LSA. That is why within the area you will have identical database. Because this type 1 and type 2 don't go to other area, you cannot expect other area database to be similar like this area. It will be different. Moreover, we also do what? Summarization in the border. So we cannot expect same kind of database in different areas. It will be different. See, again he's quiet. Hmm. 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 But did you understand? I answered already. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Next, why is type 4 LSA is called a summary LSA? Because it is carrying, it is originating from EBR. But the information that type 3 carries and type 4 carries are not the same. Please listen. Do you have a ASBR here? Yes. Let's say the router ID of this router is 1.1.1.1. Are you following me? This is the router ID of answer ASBR, which is this router. Now you have some LSA type 1, LSA type 2 of this area 0, correct? That type 1 and type 2 LSA will be sent as what? Type 3, which is called as summary LSA sent by this router. Here also it will go as type 3. You agree? Hmm. And now what I am trying to say is the same router is also going to send LSA type 4, but what it is going to carry is 1.1.1.1. You see, it is not carrying external network. It is carrying the router ID of ASBR. See, externally you may have some network 7.7.7.7, 9.9. It is not carrying those networks. It is simply carrying the router ID of that ASBR. Only router ID. Type 4, type 4 is carrying only the router ID of ASBR. And who originates this? The ABR of the area which has got ASBR in it. ABR of area which has got ASBR in it. In our case, it is the ABR of area 0 because area 0 only got ASBR. దయచేసి అర్థం చేసుకోండి. Very difficult to speak to you. You need to understand this very well. Next, what is type 5? Type 5 is called as external autonomous system, LSA. You see, external autonomous system, LSA, or autonomous system, external LSA. Now, what does this carry and from where this originates? This originates from, please understand, this originates from here itself. LSA type 5 originates from this router where you do redistribution itself. What do they carry? They carry these networks. You understood? Yes. Type 5 originates from this router itself, but type 4 originates from only ABR. You understood? What is the difference between type 5 and type 4? Yes, summary illustrate. ఏమండి సరిగా చెప్పండి. Type 4 carries what? Router ID of whom? Router ID of ASBR. And it originates from అలా చెప్పాలి. Correct. So, external networks, external routes or external networks. So for type 4 carries only the router ID of ASBR, but it is originated from the ABR. Type 5 originates from the ASBR itself, and it carries the external networks, routes to external networks. అలా చెప్పాలి. Okay. Now, let's see those things again in detail. Before that, let us finish the 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10, and 11, and 12. Now, you see, this is used automatically. You don't need to do anything when there is multicasting in the environment where you have OSPF. This type 6 LSA is used. And we are going to learn different type of areas in OSPF. In that, one type is called as not so stubby area, where we will see type 7 that comes later. Whenever we have OSPF and BGP, when the OSPF routes go in BGP, and when BGP routes are carried in OSPF, the external attribute LSA for BGP is type 8. We'll see that later when we are in BGP class. There is also 9, 10, and 11, which is called as opaque LSA, meaning it can be used for various other purposes for future expansion. So, what we have learned so far is what we can see in the OSPF lab. This is depending on multicasting. This is depending on the topic that which we are yet to cover. This is depending on the BGP. So let us now see in detail this thing once more. You see type 1. As I told you, type 1 comes out from every router in an area. It carries all the prefix and link state information of directly connected network along with the router ID, and it does not cross the area. It is flooded within area only. అర్థమైందా ఏమండి? Let's go next one. Type 2 LSA, this LSA type 2 originates only from DR. All right, and now this includes a list of attached routers and transit links and subnet masks on the link. This is advertised by DR only. For the broadcast network only, you will have DR, right? In a LAN environment. In serial, you don't have DR. And then this is also flooded within the area, does not cross the border. You understood this? Type 3 LSA originates from ABR, and you see all type 1 and type 2 gets converted as type 3 and goes to other area. These are clear. By default, the routes are not summarized. You have to summarize it manually, which is the next chapter. Type 4 also, if you notice, Type 4 also known as Autonomous System Summary LSA. See, if you notice, Type 4 also originates from ASBR, but it is carrying the router ID of ASBR. Aste, only that much. Ante, router ID only, router ID only, not any other information. And from where it is originating? It is not originating from ASBR, it is originating from ABR. And type 5 is the one who originates from the ASBR itself. Alright, it is originating from ASBR itself, and by default summarization is not done. This is the one which is carrying the network information of other autonomous system. And this is advertised throughout the autonomous system. You see, it starts from here, it goes to all the area. Kada? Okay. So, as I told you, if you want to see this in the lab, this is the command you need to know. Show IP OSPF database. When you type that, you can see router LSA, network LSA, summary LSA, and few more are omitted here. Got it? We'll stop here.